welcome to my 2026 reading journal setup video. I'm really excited for this year's reading journal. I have this beautiful new journal from Notebook Therapy and matching washi tape set, as well as a couple stickers from the same set. So without any further ado, I want to light my candle and get started. And there we go. With that lit, let's get started. This is actually a diary from Notebook Therapy, I believe. So it has a couple pages here in the beginning. It's called the Lunar Bloom Diary. So they have a regular bullet journal as well as this diary. I went with the diary just because it's only these first few pages that have anything in them. So there's a lunar calendar you can see here. And then there's a few pages that they call Moon Manifestation. And it's just like a little planning or manifestation page, and there's about 6 of them, and then it gets to plain pages. So even though it's a diary, I still got this as my reading journal just because I really love the cover. It's so pretty and kind of iridescent. I'll show you a little bit. There's a lot of gold gilded details, as well as the little flowers are kind of like opalescent. Even the purple accents are also shiny. So I really loved this cover, and when I saw that it was a diary, I figured I would still use it. I'll use those front pages eventually, but for now, let's just set up the blank pages. I will be using the stickers and the washi tape from Notebook Therapy from this Moonflower Magic set, as well as this set, which I don't know the name of it. Maybe it's called Full Moon or Train Cosmos. I don't know, because a lot of it is not in English, but this I got from Journal Say. So if you're interested in any of the ephemera I use from this set, I just wanted to show you what the packaging looks like, so maybe you can find it on Journal Say if you want to. I'll try to find it and link it if I can. So because I have a lot of spreads to do, I have played around a little bit with what I want to do, and so I'm brushing some eraser shavings off because I've already been trying to plan a little bit so this video wouldn't be the longest video ever, but I'm still kind of winging it. No matter how much planning I do, it's hard to plan everything out without actually sticking things down. And then I will show you these real quick, are 3D stickers from the same Moonflower Magic set from Notebook Therapy. You can see these ones are just silver, but they have kind of a texture to them, so they're called 3D. And then there's these ones, really pretty as well. The window ones I showed you, and another silver sheet, if you can see that right there. So I will be trying to use these as well. But yeah, I'm going with this kind of cooler toned theme than maybe I normally do, but I'm trying to balance it with warm brown paper like I use. And then this set came with some ephemera that is a little light orange looking, or peach kind of, which I thought complemented the blue really nicely. So I'll be using these for my 2026 cover over here, and this page will be my index. So that's the first spread I'm going to do, and these came with the Journal Say set, different vellums with stars and constellations, and I think they're so beautiful. So I'm really excited to use all of this new stuff, and I hope it will turn out really great. But yeah, I'm just going to start by layering everything over here on this page, where I will do a 2026 header and just kind of layer things around. I think that looks kind of nice. I chose these pieces a little bit beforehand. I didn't do anything too specific with them, but I did kind of pick out different things I like so I could get started. I ripped that so it's not so straight, and then I like to layer a little bit. My style, if you've seen my journal for 2025, is very kind of like scrapbooky, very layered. I try to embrace all the layered elements, but not get too overly complicated with these yearly spreads, because then it would be a lot of work to set up my journal, and it would probably intimidate me. So we're going to try to layer but not overthink it too much. And I'm trying to figure out if I want this gray on the front or maybe a blue. And then these beautiful cut moons, there's a few other ones. I think I want to use this one, but there's a few other ones I might use throughout the journal. These are from the same paper set from Journal Say. They all came together, and I thought this was just like the perfect set for me. I love really woodland things, as well as moon and lunar type of things. I'm going to rip this piece a little bit on the side just to make it a little more organic looking. And then I think because this side won't show, I'm going to rip this so I can use it somewhere else maybe. Because I really like the subtle shimmer on those vellum pieces. I think that's looking good. And then let's set up this side too before I get too carried away. I don't heavily use my index, but it is nice to add a few things so that you can flip to things more easily once it's full. So I'm going to do just a single page index, nothing crazy. I will definitely have more page numbers that could fit on like a 2-page index, but I just like to keep it to the 1 page if I can. So that's just more simple, and I just don't put down every single spread. I just do like month by month, come in here and add a line on my index so that you have an idea of where you're flipping to without it being every page numbered. This notebook does not come with numbered pages, so if I had to number them all myself, that would take quite a while. This little piece and this piece are from ephemera set from Amazon that I've had for a long time. I've used it a lot in my 2025 reading journal, and I like to use things that I know I like. Not everything has to be new. It's nice to use what I already have. That looks nice. I might put the moon over there on that side and rip it a little bit, and then we could put a sticker down here. Let's see. There we go. I'll just save my ripped pieces for later. I like my scrapbook style because it makes it so that you start viewing little scraps as something useful. I start to collect everything because I might use it somewhere in my journal, because even just a little piece of paper layered with some other things can look really nice. Okay, let's rip this down the side and put this behind, I think, like that. I'm gonna get my ruler and try to rip this piece even more. I did it pretty straight, but at the end I tried to purposely make it a little less straight so that not everything is super narrow looking, but has a little bit of an organic shape to it. I print out a lot of my headers just to keep them consistent. And so I did this on Canva just quickly with a font that I like. It's all caps, but the capital letters still are a little bit larger. And I can link this below if you're interested, so you could print it out yourself or change the titles and print it out if you want. So let's cut out this 2026, that, and then index. These washi tapes are really pretty. I use sets of washi tape a lot when setting up my reading journals. 2024 was the first year I kept a reading journal, so really just the past 2 years that I've kept a reading journal. I like to use a set of washi tape that all goes together, and this one comes with stickers that are really pretty because it just helps everything tie together. And I loved that these ones went with the journal specifically, and I'm going to use these throughout my spread, so I want to tie a little bit of their colors in on this spread so that these yearly spreads all kind of go together. Okay, this is starting to look really good, so I'm going to start taping down some of my pieces so that everything stops being so movable. I just have my adhesive tape. I'm wondering if this would look better against not brown paper, because it kind of blends in with this brown paper. So let's try this. Maybe I do like the brown paper. I just need to break up between this brown and this brown with something like that. That could look nice. And then this moon could go right there, and then do some more off-center things, and then I'll fill in like little gaps with one of the, either this roll that has stamp type stickers where they look like stamps, or this roll where it has circular moon stickers like that. If you can see, those middle areas are peel off stickers. So let's tape the rest down. doing some of this shiny gold washi tape, not evenly on the edges, just adding some to both sides. I don't need it to be even because I'm going to still layer different things. This sticker is really pretty, and I either want it by the title or by index. I feel like it fits index nicely, so I think I'll put it there. And then I want to put some of these smaller ones around, like this one right here. I want this moon to still kind of be the largest thing, so I'm not going to do any of these big ones over here, but I think I'll do this other small one. Let's see how this darker moon stamp would look on the cover page. I added a few sparkles around 2026, and now we can line every other line of the index with this pretty light grayish blue Tombow that's N52, and that will help when I write in the index me to tell the lines apart a little easier and just make it easier to write in. There we go. I messed up this line and had to go over it twice, but that's okay because once I write the page numbers and stuff, it like covers that up. It's not as big of a deal, so I try not to be too worried or perfect about it. But I do think I will add a couple of these silver little stickers with stars around on the index side. There we go. There is my cover and my index. I really like how it turned out. I love the variation in the colors. I don't normally do such cool colors, but I like that there's still warmth with like the gold gilded things, the brown paper, and the peach colored paper. And now we can do my year at a glance. So I already vaguely marked in pencil where I want my lines to go, and I'm going to go over that in my micron pen. This is a 05, and I'll do my best to do straight lines, even though this ruler is the only one I have small enough to sit on my notebook, but it is kind of wonky. Like sometimes it actually kind of messes me up, but I don't think I could freehand this. I'm a very shaky person. I have POTS, and sometimes just, I don't know how to explain, except for if you're a shaky person, you probably, hopefully get it, that I'm just kind of shaky. So let's just give ourselves grace and don't worry about if things are too straight. We'll just do our best. Okay, there we go. I messed up a little here. I accidentally did my line too long. And over here, the page was really bumpy all of a sudden, and so my pen jumped. I think I must have, when I did my pencil lines, like pushed in a little too hard, and so the page was not like completely flat anymore. It had an indentation, if that makes sense. But that's okay. Hopefully showing you this helps you feel better if you make any mistakes on your spreads. I definitely don't claim to be perfect at journaling. Like I said, I've always been a really shaky person, and that can make certain things hard for sure, but that's okay. If this is the same color, I can just cut a little dot and put it over. That's good for now, and I might get whiteout or something and try that later. If you have any recommendations for covering up little pen mistakes, let me know. Okay, and with the grid done, I'm going to do months, books, as in like books I read that month, pages, so the page count, rating, which will be average rating for that month, and then I do ebook/audiobook, physical, DNF, so number of books I didn't finish, unhaul, so the books that I got rid of that month, and then haul, meaning the books I got that month. I'm going to write those in with my Micron. There we go. I decided to put digital here instead of ebook because I put ebook there last year and I've been keeping track of my audio and ebooks in this column, so I just called it digital. And now we can put the months over here. And so this is my year at a glance. And now we can put washi tapes around. I was thinking I want to pair this dark blue one on the sides with the purple one in this set and then put some stickers around. I think I'll put the top and the bottom washi tape on first so I know where I want my sides to come to. I was thinking of doing this dark blue one, but this one might go even better with the purple. This one, you can see that. So let's save this for another spread, put in there, and do this one for the sides after we do the top and bottom. And now I might want to put these in the corners, possibly. I like this one, but it has snowflakes on it. So I think I'll save it for a January or December spread since I haven't done my December spread in my 2025 reading journal yet. And something I was going to say is that if you want to pause the video and see how I spaced things, I know sometimes I do that with people's videos. I just wanted to let you know that I made a TikTok pretty recently where I will be posting photos and things. So I will try to post photos of all my spreads on there so that you can take time to look at them without having to pause the video, if that makes sense. So I will link my TikTok in the bio. Yeah, I'm pretty new to TikTok in general, so I don't have very many followers yet, but if you want to go over there and follow me, that would be really great. And I'll post photos of my 2026 spreads. These stickers are really pretty. It looks like the same washi tape, but they peel out like that. So I might put those around. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to put them back for a second. Or I want to put, since they have the purple colors in them as well. Okay, so I think I will take some of these stamps. They're like not sticky stamps, but they look kind of like a stamp shape in maybe the peach color. Let's do this one. And put those around just to kind of fill up the space and layer with one of these stickers. I think that will look really nice. And then something I might do, since these moons don't have the intricate shape sticking outside of the moon shape like the other ones do, I think I will glue these onto brown paper and then cut around. Let's try that with one, and if it looks good, I'll do it with the other. I hope it does. So there's that one, and now let's glue down this one. There we go. There are those two moons, and I think it looks really good against the brown paper. You can see all the detail more. So now I'm going to glue these little stamps in the corners. The sticker is really pretty, but I think we have enough going on. I might do these little hands in the middle, and I'll have to cut it down the center for it to not bulk up the spread too much, but I think that could look good. There we go. And then I totally forgot my title. So let's cut that out and put it on. And I will use my tape because it sticks better to washi tapes. And then I have a couple of these little stickers that I think I will put right here and right here. There we go, and those will just be subtle little shimmery accents when the light hits. There's my year at a glance, and I really like how it turned out. I really like the colors, and I'm excited to fill it in and use it, obviously. Everything looks a little like blank before you start filling it in, but I'm loving this so far. Next, we have my book tracker, and last year I did an envelope on this side, which I will show you, like I taped in an envelope where I can open it and put stuff inside. And I think I will do that again this year. I liked to keep my receipts for books bought in that envelope, and then the following spread, I list out the books I bought by month so that I can kind of keep track of how many books I'm buying. So I think I'll do an envelope on this side again to keep receipts. So this will be my reading goals. So I think I will put my reading goal title up here. I already outlined 48 spots for the 48 books I want to read. That's the same goal I had in 2025, and I felt like it was perfect. It was challenging, but not overly challenging, so I outlined them in pencil, but I will go through and outline them in pen and add some washi tapes in the envelope that I'll show you in a second. There's something that got smudged on my page, but I don't know what that is. Well. Okay, first let's outline these in pen and get that out of the way. There they are all lined, and I will erase the pencil marks. And if you're wondering, these are 3 dot grids by 3 dot grids squares. So there's 1 dot grid in the center. And there are all of the numbers filled in. So here is the envelope like I was talking about, and these are repurposed from an advent calendar I had. And I think I want to do this black floral washi tape on the top and bottom maybe, or at least the bottom. And then put this here, and I cover up this sticker with one of those embossable library sticker things I got for Christmas last year. I like that, and then I think I might do this gold washi tape at the top. I also have these stickers from Journal Say. Some are books, stacks of books, and some are lanterns that I think would fit well on this page. Let's see. These books have vines all around them, which kind of goes with the vine washi tape at the bottom. There, I like that, I think. And now I'm going to cut out my reading goal title. And here is my embossing roll of stickers that I was talking about, and my embosser that my mom got me for Christmas last year. I'm just going to line it up in there and then push, and then it has my name on it and a moon symbol my mom designed for me based off a tattoo I have. And then what I do is I use this to close the envelope and cover that sticker that was already there. But before I put it down, I cut it along the envelope opening so that I can still open it. And now I put this other half of the sticker right here, like that. So now I can still open it and put things in the envelope. And I'll put my key index for my reading goal tracker, and I will put my receipts for the books I buy that I want to keep track of in here as well. Tape, tape, lining up, push, push, tape, 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 lining up, push, push, push. There we go. And now I think we can tie it into my other spreads with some of these stickers. I think I like this one since it matches this washi tape pretty well. And then maybe I'll put these little ones on the edges. Let's see how it looks. And I think that looks really good. Now I can put my key in here, and I want to figure out what colors I want to use on my key. I'm just going to do a color for physical, one for audio, and one for ebook. So I kind of like this green, that's 098. Maybe a green, purple, let's see. I have this yellow. I'm trying to see what looks good with the spread. The spread is pretty green, so maybe we'll go... I like the yellow because it's kind of goldish. And I have this other green. It's 076. We can see what it looks like. It's similar, but it's lighter, so I think these three work. I had a lot of cool colors swatched, but I think I'll go with these colors. Okay, and then this is not the exact same size as this envelope. It's just a little skinnier, and it's just a scrap piece of paper I have, and I'm just going to use it to make my key. So I have my colors chosen, and I'm just going to write key at the top and underline it, and then I'm going to do squares, ebook, physical, audio, and then I'm just going to cut this so that it fits better, and I will round the corner of it on all the corners. There we go. And now I'll do this one, this color for ebook, this color for audio, and this other green for physical. There we go, and that's good for now. Sometimes what I do on the bottom portion is I'll add something else to my key later, maybe like a library book or something. I don't think I'll do that this year, but what I might do later is put a list of my reading goals. Like I want to read a book over 1,000 pages. I want to finish 3 or 4 maybe series. I'm gonna decide on that. I want to, of course, read 48 books, and I want to read more nonfiction as well as more historical fiction. So I might write those down on this later, but for now I'm going to just stick it in there like this, because those same goals I'm going to put on my reading bingo to encourage me to do my bingo and to make my bingo a little harder this year. So that spread is coming. But next is my wish list and my books bought. So this is where I will write out books bought throughout the year by month. And over here is where I will put this. This is my wish list for 2026. These are books that before 2026 has even come, I know I want to buy. They're either new releases by authors that I like coming out in 2026, or they are just books that I know I will want to buy because they're in a series I'm reading, like these two. These are not new releases, but I'm trying to read the first book in each of these series this year, and I know I'll want to continue them next year. I'm already reading Outlander, and this is the second in the Outlander series. This is Sea of Charms by Sarah Beth Durst, which I've liked her other books a lot. This is the third Whisper Wicks book, which is a series by Jordan Lees that I really like. This is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison, which is in the same world as First Time Caller, which I read this year. This is the fourth in the Kindred's Curse saga by Penn Cole. This is a book that was new this year, but it's called Finding Grace by Loretta Rothschild, and I have heard a lot of good things, so it's on my list of things I want to buy next year. This is a new release coming out next year by Heather Fawcett, who wrote Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I really liked this year. This is called Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter, and it looks really good, so I'm excited for that book. And this book is Pachinko by Min Jin Lee, and it is not new to next year. It's already out, but again, I heard a lot of good things this year and really want to prioritize it next year. So this is kind of like a new releases spread, but it is more like books that I'm pretty sure I will want to buy next year, so that when I make my books bought list over here, it just helps me. Okay, so my camera died, but I was trying to say that this spread helps me remember later in 2026 what I was wanting to buy at the beginning of 2026, and helps me stay on track in terms of like not getting distracted by new releases that maybe people are talking about, but really I would rather have one of these books. I just don't want to buy loads of books in 2026 if I'm not going to read them. So this is just a good reminder of books I want to own, as opposed to maybe get from the library, and keep me on track for getting these kind of books that are either continuations of things I was liking or new releases by authors that I know I like. So I'm going to cut these strips on my paper cutter and cut them all out, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have the cut strips. And something I noticed is that all these books, the color schemes of them kind of go together. They kind of go with my paper ephemera that was blue and this peach color. These book covers all happen to kind of go with that. There we go, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out my books bought and wish list headers for this spread. And now for this spread, I'm going to keep it pretty simple and just do borders of washi tape and do a little table for book spot over here. And this is the Tombow in 990 if you're wondering. I use that to highlight every other row. I think that looks really nice, and once again, I'm excited to fill it in. The next spread is a really fun one I did last year called On My Shelf that I like to do. That is honestly just a reminder of the books that I own physically on my shelf at home. And so I like to do this at the beginning of the year so that I know all the books I started out with. Instead of a long list, I find it just as easy or hard, depending on how you look at it, to, instead of writing a long list of all the books that I have on my shelf that I haven't read, I like to just print off pictures of them, because of all the other spreads I make, I just tend to already have pictures of the book covers, like downloaded on my computer somewhere. And so I just print them small and then put them all on here, and I like to see them all in one place, because of course I can look at my bookshelf, but I don't have all the books that I haven't read somewhere where I can see them all at once. And so this is just really nice, and it encourages me to prioritize the books I already own, and I get to put a check mark under them when I have read them. The most time-consuming part is cutting out all the little book covers, but then once I've done that, I really like how the spread looks. So I'm going to put this gold washi tape at the bottom again. I'm using it throughout my spreads, as you can tell, to kind of tie the different spreads together. So here I have all of the books on my shelf, and I just need to cut them out. And there we go. There are all the books I own. I'm missing a few, I think, but I know a couple of them, like 2 off the top of my head, are because I want to read them in December of this year, 2025. So I didn't put those on here because this is for 2026. And at the very beginning of 2026, I will just go and modify anything I need to, like add a couple more if I find a couple more books that I didn't capture here. But I'm pretty sure this is all of them. I did 50 little rectangles if anyone's wondering. So if this page is full, it means I have 50 books on my physical shelf that I have not read, and I think that's a lot. I know to some that's not that many, and to some that's like crazy a lot. For me, it's definitely a lot, but at the same time, I have to accept that that's what I have. So this is my way of helping myself get through them before buying new books and focusing on what books I already have, because sometimes, I don't know about you, but if I put it on my bookshelf, I can kind of forget about it and it can get lost. So I like seeing the front of the covers here, not just the spines on my bookshelf, and I hope to make it through a lot of these in 2026. Here is my header that I will cut out. I have these 2 sticker sheets from Maragona Suli. Our artwork and illustrations are really beautiful, and I think these stickers would go well on this spread, so I'm going to add some of the smaller ones, and maybe this one. This one is like a moon vase, that's really pretty. I think I'll add this owl. And then I'm going to finish it off with this cat. One final little moon. I think that looks really nice, and I'm excited to check a lot of these books off in 2026. Next, we have my favorite books by month. This spread is really nice just to remember what book was my favorite each month. And so I've already marked off us 12 spots, 1 for each month. And I'm just going to add some washi tape. I really like this one that I used earlier. And I'm gonna do a border at the bottom. And for this page, I'm going to do the same washi tape up top. Okay, and now I'm just going to move the bottom row up 1 because I want to put the title of the month at the bottom of each book cover. So I'm just going to move all of these up 1. And I mean move them up 1 grid space. I don't know if I said that. And then these are from this Happy Planner set that my sister-in-law got me because it was on clearance. And there's these little stars, stickers that I'm going to put around the edges. think that looks really nice. I really like the little stars all around. I think that adds a nice touch. And I think I might actually add a stamp or two on the side, maybe just one, and cut off the excess. So this one maybe I could even cut in half, like if I put it right here. Take the other half and put it over here. There we go. I think that looks perfect. And now we can move on to my series tracker spread. For my series tracker spread, I want to keep it pretty simple. I want to use this like floral vine washi tape again because I only have used it really on my reading goal spread, I believe, and I want to tie it in on this spread. And then on the edges, I'm going to use the gold again. Okay, and for my series tracker, I also do tiny little book covers, and I get to fill one in when I've read that book in the series. So I have all of these, and I need to cut them out still. The longest series I have is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, and I own the first 3 books in this, and I really liked her other series, and I've heard this one is better. So I'm hoping to start this series in 2026, but then the rest of these are a lot of trilogies and Heat of the Everflame, which is like 4 books, a quartet, I guess. And most of those I have started and they're series I want to finish. I'm trying to prioritize finishing series and not just starting new ones or putting a bunch on here that I haven't even started yet. So we're going to start with fewer series than I did last year, and I'm going to prioritize them more. So it's still a good amount of series. I'm going to start cutting them out and making room for them. Okay, so the series that I haven't started yet, or the additional books in the series I haven't read, I put to the side because I don't need to cut those all out right now. I will put them in here when I finish the book. So these are the books that I have finished and the series I want to continue in 2026. So now I'm going to make little spots for them. I'm going to mark it out in pencil first just to make sure I have room. And I'm going to do a lot of my trilogies on this side. The Iron Flame in the Fourth Wing series was not my favorite, but I do want to finish out the trilogy since I enjoyed the first book, so we're going to make a spot for that. I started and finished recently the Outlander book, so I want to continue that series. I mean, honestly, the end of the book was not my favorite, so I'm now less sure I want to continue it, but you know, it's fine. And I'm going to put this quartet. This will have 4 books in the series, so I'm going to put it on this page, I think. And then Throne of Glass has 8 books total, but I don't think I'll put a spot for each of them to start. I think I'm just going to put 4 books to start because I'll be happy if I make it through 4 books in the series in 2026. And then I haven't read it yet, but I have the series. I don't know if there's a title for it, but this series with Gideon the Ninth, Harrow the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth is a series I want to read next year, as well as the Green Bone Saga by Fonda Lee and the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. So I'm going to make spots for these. And these books, I think this one is technically a collection of short stories from the same world, but this is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. And I own these books already, so I'm going to put a spot for these on here as well. Okay, I think this is enough spots for what I want to do. These ones will actually be trilogies, so I don't need 4 spots. And I think I will only pen in the titles of the series that I know I will be reading and leave the rest open to in case I like change my mind about something, if I'm not enjoying a series or something. So I'm not going to write as many things like titles of the series in pen like I did last year. I'm only going to write the ones of the series I've started, so that way I can move things around later if I want to and not have to white out all the titles that I write here in here. Okay, so these are the books I've read. There were a couple series that I finished in 2025 and a couple that I decided I don't want to move forward with, like the Prison Healer. I tried to read the 3rd book, but I just wasn't liking it. It was kind of similar to this Kindred Curse series to me, but I was enjoying this one more and I just wasn't interested. I got it from the third book from the library and made it like 70 pages in, and I just was having to kind of make myself continue it, so I decided I would just spend my time elsewhere. Since it was a library book anyway, I didn't own it or anything, so yeah, I'm not going to finish that series. I finished the Folk of the Air trilogy last year and Emily Wilde trilogy, The Part of Your World trilogy. They're all standalones, but they go together, by Abby Jimenez, as well as The Infernal Devices was like a reread. I'd forgotten a lot of what happened in those books, so I reread it, and that was a really good series. And then, ooh, something I forgot that I'll want to put in here is The Whisperwicks. That's a trilogy. So I might do a tip-in here after all and give myself some more space. But again, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I want to focus on fewer series at once. So fewer series and completing them. So since these are the ones I've started, I've put these in here. As soon as I start another series, I'll go ahead and give it a spot. And I have started the Whisperwicks series, and the third one was on my wish list for books I want to buy in 2026. So I will probably put that later, but I haven't printed those covers out for the first two books that I finished. So I won't do that right now. I'll just do that another time. So now we can get my Micron and we can write the titles for the series. It's called the Kindred's Curse Saga, but I feel like saga is like a little bit redundant, so I don't need to put that. Okay, so this is what I have for now, and I want to decorate around a little bit more and add the title. And now I want to add some more of these lantern stickers around to kind of tie back into that other spread. I think I like those there, and then I was thinking some more of these stained glass windows could look nice if they fit. I think they will. I want to put this big one in the center on the bottom. And I will just cut through it with my X-Acto knife to make sure it's not too thick to close. And now I think I like these, so I'm going to place these around. Now I'm just grabbing some more of these star stickers. There's my series tracker spread, and now we can do what I believe will be my last spread for now, which is my bingo and book club. So my bingo board this year, I am making a little bit more like goals bingo, if that makes sense, because they're kind of the same thing if you think about it. Like trying to fulfill a bingo challenge is similar to setting goals. So on my reading goals spread, I just have the number of books I want to read that I will mark off, and that little envelope I can put a written out list of goals in there if I want to. But this bingo will function similarly, where a lot of the bingo prompts will be my reading goals, such as reading a book over 1,000 pages and things like that. So to start, I was thinking I might do a background behind my bingo little squares with these vellums that I used on the first intro spread. I just want to see if they will even fit. So I definitely would have to cut it, and I'm wondering just how many I'd have to use because I don't want to use all of them up necessarily. I have these ones as well. I think these three are all pretty similar, and I could tape them back there as a background. I realized I erased the wrong. I had marked off where I want to put things, and I erased the wrong marker. So I'm gonna just quickly put that back and get an idea. Okay, yeah. So these will be covered by my little brown bingo squares that I'm going to put all around. So this will just be a background, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It can overlay with one another a little bit, but I don't want to waste it, so I will cut off where they overlay like heavily. And I think first I will mark off my boxes with pen, just with a freely drawn pen line, and then do washi tape around the edges. There we go. And now I want to do the dark blue moon washi tape at the top and cut off any excess, and I think I'll do it on the bottom as well. There we go, and now I'm going to try to put this vellum in the background and probably just mark where to cut it. And then I'll just make this leftover stuff work for this area. First, I'm going to glue down the biggest piece. My glue is a little dried out and kind of clumpy. I would use my tape instead, but it actually is so blue that it shows through some things. I found out with my Filofax inserts, and I was making Filofax inserts and had used that blue stuff, and my paper was pretty thin. So let's glue these down. Okay, and now I'm going to lay these all out in a 5x5. And these are 1 by 1 inch squares, if you were wondering what size they are. They're just 1 inch by 1 inch. And this book club area will just be where I keep track of the books I read specifically for book club and how I'm liking them, just because I like to remember which books I read because of my book club. And I have a couple of these key stickers. I've used them a lot. Of these key stickers I want to just put around that are like silver and gold. These I just got from a local stationery shop, and I didn't really know the brand of them or anything, so sorry if that's not helpful. I like this one with like the hotel tag on it. There we go. And now I will just write my prompts in the boxes. And the center space will be a free space. So I'm going to put one of these stickers to represent this free space. Maybe this one, blue one with stars. Okay, a book over 1,000 pages. Finish 4 series. I want to read more historical fiction, so I'm going to read 3 historical fictions. I'm going to put over here, read a nonfiction. Over here, I'm going to read a book of poetry. And then I'm going to put a few easier ones I found online, like has a 1-word title, or It has a red cover, has a map, a book published in 2026, a new to me author, a plot twist, and another big goal of mine is I want to annotate 10 books, like fully annotate 10 books. A book by a debut author, a classic, a love triangle just for something different. Because I want to finish 4 series and I have so many trilogies, it'll be a slightly different goal that I'm going to put is read the 4th book in a series. So any book, any series that's longer than 3 books. Read 4th book in series. With the implication that I've read the ones before it, obviously. Let's see what else. Read a manga. And I'm going to put a graphic novel because they're slightly different. I'm going to do book turned movie. So read a book that's been turned into a movie. Has a face on the cover. Under 200 pages just for something different. Suggested by a friend. This is kind of a random or weird challenge, but a book that makes me cry. I don't cry often when I read books, so this will just be like, if I happen to read a book that makes me cry, I'll get to check this off. I couldn't fit me on there, so I just said a book that made cry, but that's fine. And the last one, I'm going to put a collection of stories or short stories, like just a collection of short stories. And there we go. That is my final spread, and I really like how it turned out. I love the keys. There's something just a little different than in my other spreads, and now we can flip through all of them. So first we have my 2026 cover spread with my index. Then we have my year at a glance. Then we have my reading goals with an envelope where I have my key, and I can add any other goals in a list format, as well as keep my receipts for books bought in here. Then we have my wish list for keeping me on track for buying books that I know I will want to own, as well as my books bought tracker. Then we have on my shelf where I keep tracks of the books I own physically and try to make my way through them. Then we have favorite book by month. My series tracker with little pictures of the books. And my final spread is my book club and bingo, where I have extra goals as well as keep track of the books I read for book club. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really love how the spreads turned out for next year. If you are new, I would love if you would stick around and subscribe. I will be posting all of my monthly reading journal spreads next year that I do in this journal, and I'd love to have you around. Thank you to all who supported me all of 2025. I'm excited for the year ahead, and 2025 was my first year on YouTube posting videos, so I'm just really grateful for all of you that are here. And if you made it to the end of the video, comment a book emoji and say hi. I'm so glad you watched my video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.